And especially my girlies. I don't know who needs to hear this, but don't constantly check for views on your stories. Like, what are you expecting from those views? Or more precisely, who are you waiting for? Hello lovelies and welcome to my channel. I have to confess that I am an individualist. Lately, I found this word describes me so much better than words like reclusive, quiet, or especially introverted. Being an individualist isn't a bad thing. I see it as a path to personal strength and self-respect. So according to my dictionary, the concept of individualism is to prioritize your well-being and interests over those of others and to enjoy activities that are meaningful to you as an individual, even though they don't always align with the group. To me, one of the core principles I live by is that no matter who comes and goes in life, the only person who will be by my side forever is myself. Truthfully, I don't mind having just a couple of friends or not having a boyfriend, a partner at all, because I know at the end of the day, the only person that I will always have is myself, and that is enough. So let's get to the question. Why should we normalize being an individualist? Let's find out. 1. Individualism helps declutter your minds from other people's business and opinions. Okay, I know that gossiping can be fun, sipping the tea can be entertaining, but let me be honest, the more we do it, the less our minds become. Because at some point, we may find ourselves bogged down by other people's lives, stories, and even dramas which aren't always healthy for us. Social media in particular. What people show online tends to influence our self-esteem and therefore sparks admiration, comparison, sometimes jealousy in us. I'd be lying if I said I've never felt something like that. Every time I see Insta stories of people traveling, living their best lives, a part of me felt glad for them, but there was also this light sting of jealousy at the same time. Another example not about social media, but about other people's business is that once I was having a dinner with a friend and she asked for my opinion on a guy who was hitting on her friend. And I was like, what? Like, if you want to spill me some tea about yourself, yes, I'd listen, but why on earth should I care about someone who was not in the dialogue and who I barely know? Number 2. Individualism helps conquer loneliness. Speaking from my experience, embracing individualism has helped me overcome the fear of abandon and loneliness. Sure, there were times when I felt so lonely and longed for close connections, especially when I was constantly exposed to the image of people around me having great times with their friends. But then I shifted my mindset to I don't necessarily need people around me to keep me fulfilled, and I started to appreciate my own company more and find joy in spending time alone. Once I let go of that desperate need to have friends just to fill that void of loneliness, the universe suddenly blessed me by bringing people into my life who valued me for who I am, and that has been more fulfilling than anything I could have imagined. Number 3, individualist mindset encourages independence even in the smallest situation. As human, our primal desire is to be a part of something and to act accordingly to our surrounding. But this instinct can sometimes lead us to depend on others for validation and motivation. One of my biggest pet peeves is the I'll do it if you do it mentality. Like, since when do our behaviors rely on other people's actions? If you wish to do something, make it happen by yourself and for yourself. Don't wait until you have to see someone else do it. For example, I know my girlies who always say they want to go to the gym, but only if their bestie go with them. And hey, it's good to have a workout buddy, but it's also important to remember that you're fully capable of doing things independently. Don't delay your action while waiting for motivation from others. Or when you constantly ask people to hang out with you because you're bored or you just don't want to look lonely in public, you need to know that your happiness isn't attached to anyone. In fact, don't let anything related to your well-being dependent on anyone but you. Even if you're not an individualist, it's also essential to keep that in mind. So, how can we build an individualist mindset? Here are some steps. Number 1, developed self-awareness. I swear to God, self-awareness is foundational, not only to be an individualist, but also to become a better version of yourself in general. As human, we were born with self-awareness along with other traits like narcissism, shadow, inner child, etc. But those traits mainly come from our subconscious mind, and most of the time, people never actually work on it as a real matter of our identity. What I meant is that sometimes you instinctively burst out a certain reaction without understanding why. And normally people choose not to deal with it. They don't make it conscious, make it known, make it reasonable. Therefore, taking the time to pause and reflect on your values, beliefs, desires, anything related to your identity is crucial. I personally spend an hour each morning after I wake up to do my self-reflecting work. It could be the SWOT analysis, shadow work, or AI tool, ChatGPT specifically, to ask myself questions to which I answered in my journals. It could be questions like, what's the best thing I've ever done, or would I have done this differently if no one was watching me? It's basically something that helps me to understand myself better over the years. Anyways, soon I'll make a video to talk specifically about self-awareness, so you should consider subscribing to my channel and hit the bell button. Number 2, practice setting boundaries. Once you understood deeply your values, you should be comfortable with saying no when necessary. If certain activities or relationships don't align with your personal goals or values, it's okay to decline without feeling guilty. For example, not accepting to a party invitation doesn't make you feel less cool, or when someone that you don't really like asks you out, just refuse them. Don't think that would hurt their feelings or their impressions about you would change. And also, there's something that I've seen people come to me to talk about a lot is when someone tries to guilt trip you. Well, guilt tripped is a harsh word to say, but it's when they tries to make you feel guilty about something that you didn't commit or that you weren't involved in. Well, what I usually told the people who came to me, is that I would never think lowly about myself just to make someone else feel better about themselves. I may be perceived as cold or selfish on this matter, but don't make me a part of your shit show in hopes of passing your burden to me. My point is, your time, energy, and well-being should always come first. Don't put yourself in an uncomfortable position just to make someone else feel at ease. Last but not least, minimalize interactions on social media. I wouldn't recommend you guys to do like a social media detox, because we're Gen Z, we're living in an era of technology. It's basically impossible. However, what you can do is, like what I'm doing right now, is that after I post something, I immediately get off the platform. No checking for views, likes, comments, because I know that if I did, I would be overthinking that people might not like me, or maybe I didn't do well enough. And especially my girlies. I don't know who needs to hear this, but don't constantly check for views on your stories. Like, what are you expecting from those views? Or more precisely, who are you waiting for? If it's your ex, then why haven't you blocked him already? If it's your boyfriend, then I'm sure he will like the post. And if it's your love interest, if he likes you, he would DM you. So if that's not the case, get off Insta, girl. And if you find social media irresistible, then just delete the app. And in case you want to post something, just use the desktop version of that platform, of that social media. For example, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, everything has its own desktop version. You don't really need a phone to post something. And also because with your laptop, you don't bring it around, you don't carry it around you as often as you carry around your phone. So it's less, it's not completely detox, but it's less. Before the end of this video, I just want to remind you that a part of being an individualist is knowing your position in a collective entity and your identity as a separate individual. That's why I'm not doing this video to tell you that you should definitely be a complete individualist or that you should isolate yourself from the world. Everyone is built differently with various personality traits within them, and my goal is to pursue you to embrace your individualism as a trait of yourself without turning it into your entire identity. That's the end of this video. I wish you all the best, and I'll see you soon. Bye.